r/ask Reddit. What is unfathomable at 23 years old but understandable by 43 years old? Involuntary grunting while doing simple things like getting into and out of a car. I'm pretty good at keeping myself in check until I have to get up from sitting on the floor. As a kid I could sit on the floor cross-legged for hours. Now my leg falls asleep in 5 minutes and getting up is an event. When my kiddos do it, I'm not sure if they're imitating me or making fun of me. Nothing funnier than a 1-year-old grunting as they sit down. Parenting your children and your parents at the same time. OMG Ty, I feel bad because it's my wife's parents, but my god, they're broke as hell, don't want to work, can't budget their money, won't quit smoking, and they're constantly borrowing money from us. Meanwhile my wife and I have 2 small children, a mortgage and all the bills to go with it. We're not struggling, but nothing strains a relationship more than my parents need to borrow money. WTF am I supposed to say? No, sorry for the rant. Make your in-laws do chores for money. Not sure if you're kidding, but I had to do this with my best friend, and it worked. She kept asking for money, and I found myself getting more and more resentful, irritated when I'd see her buy herself anything fun. Since she wasn't paying me back, I started asking her to help clean my house in exchange for the money, and she quickly stopped asking for money. My dad has dementia. Never thought I would have to put his shoes on for him like I did when my daughter was little. I had a day last week where I was helping my grandmother and had to wipe her butt. Hospice situation. Then 10 minutes later I got called to the restroom to wipe my 4-year-old. Multi-generational butt wiping. Then my mom threw a tantrum because she wasn't getting enough attention. And then the kid, who is normally super well behaved, started to act out because grandma was acting up. I felt like I was the only grown up, and I felt like I was going insane. Time moves a lot faster. 4 years in high school, college felt like forever. The last 4 years have gone by so fast, and it just keeps accelerating. The days get longer and the years get shorter. You're bundled up now, wait till you get older. Going to Lowe's at 8 o'clock on Saturday morning to beat the crowd is enjoyable. Grocery store and Sam's Club Sunday morning before the church crowd lets out is my favorite. And as a 20-year-old who doesn't start work until 2 p.m., I think weekdays after 10 p.m. is the best time for shopping. It's just you and the dead-eyed night shift junkies. Late night grocery shopping is absolutely a thing. And it's enjoyable until you only grab a few things and the lady in front of you has an entire cart full and there's only one cashier. Having someone get hired on at your employer that was born after you were hired there. I just got hired at a new place last September and was born in 1991. One guy started working there in 1989. I'm one of the company's lawyers, so I have to give him advice and things occasionally, which is fine I guess. Just weird to be telling a guy what to do when he has literally known about this company, job, building, any given file, etc. longer than I have even known I was a human being. Most of the stuff you worry about isn't worth the effort. My boss is 60 and he's the calmest person I know. The man is absolutely unflappable. I mentioned this to him the other day and he basically told me that he used to get angry very easily, but at one point in his life he stopped stressing himself out about things he had no control over. I do not understand where I will ever get the money to buy a house from. I'm closing on my first house purchase right now. Don't ever look at how much you are actually paying over the period of the mortgage. Right? I started thinking about that this year and I'm like, how the hell am I ever supposed to move into a bracket that would allow that without me just straight up getting rich somehow? It just doesn't seem possible. To me it seems like the first rung of the property ladder no longer exists. Being physically attracted to someone in their 40s, I find women in their 20s to seem more childlike. Late 30s and older are where it's at. Well, this made me feel better about life. At some point you realize you can see a sizable difference between someone who is not yet mature and someone who is, and you prefer maturity. That's when the mothers start looking better to you than their daughters. Going to bed at 8 p.m. Also, being a morning person. That adults, too, grow and change. This actually struck me as very interesting. I'm 24 and always thought that with someone 40 plus, they kind of are who they are at that point. But in reality you change and grow at every age. I didn't really realize or comprehend that until maybe the last year or two. Aging is the continual process of realizing what an idiot you were a few years ago. I think this might be my favorite line of all time. That you should have started saving for retirement at 23. To the 23-year-olds, put as much as possible into your 401k. Future you will thank you for it. Probably the best advice listed here. I would be able to retire at a decent age if I had saved and invested. Now I will probably die while at work. My dad's first boss had a heart attack at work. His last words were, "Drag me outside. Don't let me die in this ducking bakery." He made it outside. So I guess it's kind of a happy ending. Having a doctor put a finger up your behind. What if your GF is a medical student and you're into prostate play? Student. She isn't a doctor yet. Probably will be at 43 though. That an afternoon nap isn't a waste of a life, but a necessity pleasure. A man 25 here and I do that every day when I get off work. Cannot function if I don't get one. How annoying it really is to have kids play on your lawn. That's what lawnmowers are for. The long-term effects of smoking, a lot of drinking and partying, and not getting enough sleep. Having $500 in your bank account at 23 is sweet, but having $500 in your bank account at 43 means you're broke. I carry $500 emergency cash. I am in my 40s. In my 20s 500 extra cash meant I didn't pay rent. Carry at all times? Damn, that seems dangerous. I keep around $100 case on me for emergencies, but I'd worry about losing $500. I also live in Chicago where getting robbed isn't out of the question. Waking up with a morning boner is no longer guaranteed. I read this and I was like, no way, but then I remember that I never wake up with one because I am in fact a girl and I always have been and always will be. Not picking up the phone when it rings and not checking your phone every time you hear a text sound. At 23 it's probably fun stuff calling you. At 43 it's definitely stuff you don't want to deal with calling you. I'm 25 and I already feel immense dread when my phone makes a noise. When you're young, so much of life is directed with clear markers, milestones for you to reach, and there's a lot of hand-holding. You have your first day of school, your first date, first school dance, first job, graduation, first car, moving into a dorm or an apartment, and a lot of other experiences. Aside from a promotion, a child, or a new house, you don't have nearly as many of those first moments after you become an adult. A funny thing happens when you become an adult. You get more choices, more freedom, and fewer people tell you what to do. You can sleep in late on Saturday, drink too much on Friday after work, eat a pint of Ben & Jerry's by yourself and stay up late watching movies or binge watching something on Netflix. You also have the freedom to do drugs, have sex, ride a motorcycle, or make tons of unhealthy decisions, and there's not many people to stop you. Freedom and adulthood is terribly liberating and scary, and we all screw up a lot. We get wiser by making a ton of mistakes. And a lot of us get weirdly nostalgic for simpler times when we were younger and someone else cooked dinner, paid the bills, drove you to the beach, and you had summers off. Not everyone wants to ducking talk to you. Just enjoy the quiet. Granny panties. Best thing in the entire world. 6 inches of fabric on each side. So comfy. Why the hell did I spend so many years picking a small strand of fabric out of my ass when now my undies can gently grab and support it all? Sure, I have 5 feet of underwear hanging out of the top of my jeans. What the duck do I care? I'm 43. I'm 40, and reading all this, saying to myself, yep, oh that's definitely me, oh that one too. In my early 20s, all of these would have been unfathomable. Add to the list, being in your 40s, thinking I've still got it, I'm still young, but recognizing yourself in a list such as this, and realizing that life has actually changed for you in 20 years. That sex is still awesome, but going for hours may not be in the cards. Yep, there's something to be said for quality over quantity. Semicolon. Being attracted to old people. I would smash those women in the AARP commercial. You never learn to be an adult. It's not a stage you actually reach. We're all basically teenagers with more responsibilities, pretending to play house, hoping no one figures out we have no ducking idea what we're doing. And when you get ill, you will always need your mother/father/parental figure to baby you. Won't happen, but the feeling is deeply ingrained. Having to come up with thousands of dollars every month without fail to meet my needs before spending a dime on any of my wants. Dating a 50-year-old. I was going to say date someone 10 years younger than you. At 23, that's pretty ducking creepy. I'm only 30 and a light sleeper. When I was younger, I could rarely sleep anywhere but in my bed. Now, I can sleep anywhere. It still doesn't take much to wake me up, but if I shut my eyes, I could probably fall asleep at my desk right now. Your body giving up on you. Your back feeling like someone hit you repeatedly with a hammer right on the spine because you bent over too much, too fast, without stretching properly first. I always thought it was funny and exaggerated that old people had back problems in movies and cartoons. Not so funny anymore. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.